So whenever, I guess this is a secret to win. The secret to win is actually to be natural, to actually let things happen, let your full potential come out. Now, your full potential can't come out unless your mind actually lets go and lets your full potential come out, because your full potential is your being actually just doing, just executing its genius, if you will. So for that to happen, you need to be able to have your mind sit back and just watch. It's kind of like there was this great book that was written that was called The Inner Game of Tennis. If you can get a copy of that, it may be out of print, but it is one of the best subjects or best books written on the subject. And that book was so good that the author had people visiting him because they thought he was a spiritual teacher. It goes to show that if you do anything well, it's called spirituality. And that's how well it was done. He had just to kind of just give you an idea. The author had one day he was a tennis coach. He showed up to his tennis court, and there was this person cleaning the court with a broom. And he's like, "What are you doing?" He said, "I came to study with you." He said, "I am just a tennis coach." He said, "Ah." Anyways, it kind of gives you the idea. But in there, he talks about this experience where he was playing against someone who was better than him, and he let go, and he played the best game where he got to feel like he did his best. And there was another game where he played with someone who was good, but they kind of got choked up in their game and they fumbled and he won. And it's not that he didn't play a good game, but he lost because the other person didn't do as well. And he said that the experience he had with the first game, where even though he lost, where he felt that he played the best game ever, to him was a much better experience than the other experience of winning because the other person didn't do so good. It was it's kind of like an enlightening moment, and we all have this experience. He also talks about this experience where if you try and over control, where the mind tries to control what the body is doing, that the body cannot unleash its full potential. Like I was talking about earlier, when you're micromanaging, you're trying to micromanage what your body is doing. And so now we kind of come into this idea. So how do you convince your mind not to do this? And what it comes down to is when you're trying to win, you get afraid that if you let go, that the body's going to mess up. And it's actually true. We've all had the experience of when we let go, the body messes up the first few times, but you need to let the body mess up a few times, and so that the mind can also let go. How often is it that we make a mistake and then we let go because we're like, oh, the worst has already been done, and then all of a sudden we have the best performance because the mind let go. And it's in the same manner where when we have a game where we just let ourselves fumble, and instead what we do most of the time is, instead of just letting ourselves fumble, that's when we take control. And that's when we actually lose all intelligence. And so as we're practicing, I just want to just say, just let yourself fumble and feel your body. Don't try and control the body. Just let yourself fumble and just let the body do what it wants to do. And let your body experience. Let yourself have a full experience. The full compendium of experiences of awkwardness, of it not working, of it working. And see what happens. And then you'll get a correction. And that's a good correction, because the one that's actually receiving the correction is not the mind, it's the body. And you need to let your body received the correction instead of your mind getting in the way and going, "Wah!" If I just kept the control, I would have not gotten that correction. But then we never learn. So we want to allow ourselves to get as much correction as possible because we're just being natural, and we need to let the mind get out of the way and have a full experience of the correction. And actually, over time, the body just knows, and the mind can just sit back and relax. And that is a marvelous experience of being.